No, you don't need the.
I'm doing this my way. He a legend, he a legend, he a legend. He a legend, he a legend, he a legend.
Talking on it though, then
He
you
a
can't work
legend.
it up later.
Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league of Item. Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league of Item.
Welcome back to Summoner's Rift. Day 3 has arrived and World Elite face-off against Sunning. The first 10 minutes were a snooze fest, but the action picks up at the 10-minute mark when Pantheon and Echo join Do I Make You Oni, Baby? In the top lane, getting first blood and first brick. Just a few minutes later, Syndra is being collapsed on in the mid lane, but it turns out Thresh is the priority, who happily exchanged his life for the second dragon of the game. Sunning has a clear mission, and will need to continue their dragon momentum for a shot at victory. Jarvan is just strolling through his jungle and is murdered in cold blood by Echo, Leona, and Pantheon, who turn onto the spawning Rift Herald for a solid tempo play. Then, Sunning sets up for the dragon that they need to have a chance in this game. But as the dragon spawns, they're bullied out of position. Jarvan is picked off, and they lose the ensuing teamfight. Huge mistake from Sunning. At the 22-minute mark, Sword Art is picked unexpectedly, giving away Baron for free. J4 limps away, and Echo dies, but the damage has been done. Now World Elite is on the Baron, but they're getting greedy, fighting in the jungle simultaneously. They blow all their ults on Renekton, who pops Dominus and refuses to lose, while Sunning turns the rest of the fight in their favor and secures the second Baron of the game for themselves. Dragon is up for Soul Point, and when Jarvan dies, they get it for free. At the 31-minute mark, with the game in the balance, Huanfeng gets cut out in the mid lane, followed by Thresh and Renekton, giving away the game, and World Elite close it out quickly. It's a Game 1 win for World Elite. Game 2 also starts off slow, until Sunning decides to dive Aatrox in the top lane. You done messed up, Aatrox! Wait. He turns it. The dive goes awry, Bin flashes away, and is picked off for first blood by J4. The 12-minute mark arrives with a trade in the top lane. World Elite runs towards Bard, forcing them to back off. Sunning gets greedy and tries to contest the dragon anyways, but they die for nothing, and World Elite gets off to an early lead. A few minutes later, Sunning swaps their attention to the top lane, where Bin has been dominating all day. Aatrox and Jarvan die, and when Aurelion Sol shows up, he joins his friends in the afterlife. 3-3 with first brick for Sunning. Just as the next dragon spawns, Renekton is caught out in the top lane, tossing the dragon in the garbage bin. World Elite shifts their players down towards dragon, setting up Soul Point. Aatrox TP's in, and the 5v4 means an Infernal Drake for World Elite. Sunning trades for mid. "20 minutes into the game, and both teams collide around Dragon. S of M is the first to fall, but Angel TP's in and World Elite is clumped. Renekton have more than enough damage to turn the fight, and 4 members of World Elite use Flash. Dragon Soul hits the rift, and Angel is caught out in the mid lane, doing his best S of M impersonation. Every time a dragon comes up, these idiots are getting caught and dying mid, and oh, he actually escapes. It was a bait. Never in doubt. Oh my god. No, Aphelios, you fool, don't die for Angel's sins. Wait, what? How did he live? Bard, you mechanical genius! Thank you, you beautiful meat-loving bastard. S of M even manages to prance away through the jungle. World Elite is shoving the mid wave, and a skirmish breaks out in the mid lane. 3 ults are wasted on S of M, who almost got caught again, but Sunning slowly chips away. Dragon Soul is an option again for World Elite at the 27-minute mark, but Sunning is prepared to fight for this one. Bard whiffs his ult, and Bin is collapsed on in bottom tri-bush. He got a little damage off before he died, but this should be the game, World Elite, once they take drag. Beishong is taking damage. Cass goes in and wipes out J4 before he can smite Dragon. Sunning has done it. They steal Dragon and ace World Elite, chasing down Asol and Ezreal with Baron on the back end. Now with Baron buff, Sunning runs to the bot lane. Renekton stuns Asol and dives for more. Kassadin going in for the win. 3 kills for Cass, slapping that ass. And Sunning quickly ends the game. We're headed to a game 3. World Elite secures the first dragon at the 8-minute mark, but Sword Art is out for blood. Ashe lands an enchanted arrow on MF. And the team arrives to collapse on Galio under tower. Nowhere to hide, bucko. But it is now trapped in the top lane after World Elite takes Rift. And instead of running away, he decides to int under the tower. Sunning picks up another Drake earlier, and is set up for the third of the game, threatening Soul Point. But Beishong has other ideas, and World Elite steals the Ocean Dragon. Missing dies in the bot lane, but trades his soul for a mid-tier 1. Worth. Sunning's long-range team comp is tough to engage on, and is super annoying. Disengaging while Aatrox TP's in. Jiaomeng is a sitting duck, and Sunning turns back onto a risky Baron. Renekton comes up from bot lane, but Sunning intelligently disengages. Bryn is caught again in the mouth, always dying for nothing. Oh wait, no. Never mind. Aatrox is broken out of his mind. What is that healing? Such a dumb champion. Sunning picks up 4 kills and a Baron. Now in the bot lane, Sunning is breaking the base as World Elite breaks Wynn's face. But it's not enough as they turn the team fight. Ashe steps forward 3v4 and takes down 2 more before dying herself. 3 for 3 and an impressive base defense from World Elite. Dragon Soul now on the map. World Elite looking for another steal, pressures Sunning off Dragon, and SFM is almost caught out by Galio and Renekton. He continues to run away and pops Renekton's GA. Zoe falls and so does Ashe. Is this World Elite's fight? Ben continues scrapping with the 3 remaining members of World Elite, but they must have enough health to take down this dragon. Wei Xiang has his ultimate, and Sword Art gets taken out. Misfortune falls. Graves dies, and Wynn chases down Teacher Ma, while Wei Xiang narrowly escapes. Dragon is still on the map, and Sunning is pinging it out. This could be the game if they're able to secure. Sunning gets vision on Wei Xiang and starts the drink. Feeling the pressure, Wei Xiang goes in, but is engaged on fast. He needs to ult while in the pit and ease out. Wynn following close behind, zoning for his team to take Dragon. Sunning also takes down another Baron, sieging in the top. Quan Feng gets caught out! Flashes! Heals! What the fuck? 2 redemptions? Zoe's busted! Graves finds Set in the jungle, and there's no running away from the most broken champion in the game. It's a 4v3 in the base, and the minions are crashing on the Nexus towers. Can World Elite pull off another base defense? The Nexus is exposed. Galio dies, and so does the Nexus. What an amazing series from Sunning, taking down World Elite and announcing to the LPL they mean business in the summer split. VICI and Millie Gaming take the first 10 minutes easy, but once the second dragon comes up as an infernal drake, both teams decide it's time for a fight in the river. J4 gets dragon low, but Olaf comes in for the steal. It's a 5v5 with both top laners TPing in. But BLG is no match for VICI as board players die for the dragon. Greedy decision making opens up a 5k gold lead at 13 minutes for VICI. For the fourth dragon, we see both teams trading in the mid lane. BLG is too clumped together, and several players are hit by Syndra, Callista, and a J4 ult. Tom Kench saves Ezreal, but Kench and Maokai both fall. VICI secures the dragon and begins to focus on Baron. Millie Gaming is starting to get tanky, charging through the mid lane. Ez lands some poke, but Millie Gaming is engaged on, ulted by Wukong, and finish off the game with a flourish. GG, easy noobs. VICI Gaming and Millie Gaming managed to get to the 20-minute mark while doing almost nothing besides securing dragons. We join the action in the bot lane, where TF, Camille, and Graves are slapping the J-Smon, but they overextend, and VICI Gaming picks up several kills, including 3 for Kassadin. A Kassadin with a kill, a scary sight. Dragon Soul is available, but VICI goes for a fight in the mid lane, with their main carry diving too deep. Millie Gaming buys themselves a few minutes, but Kassadin keeps getting bigger, and once he hits 16, it's gonna be impossible to win. The final fight of the game starts with the arrival of the next dragon. VICI secures Ocean Soul and instantly engages onto Millie Gaming. Cass starts popping off, taking on their entire team on his own. He is massive and finishes the game with a team-high 7 kills, including a Quadra. What a series by Forge! Kassadin, more like Kassa-win. GG, VICI!
Hey, what's up everybody? It's Pikel. Hope you enjoyed these highlights again. Great games to watch. Extremely exciting. The World Elite Sunning match had a ton of interesting points to be analyzed. Points in the game to be analyzed. I was on Sunning. Very happy with my decision. One of the better days I've had in a month or so. At one point I was up like 3,500, solo first place in the 20 entry max contest. But that didn't hold. I had a different lineup that eventually got there, and I'll explain in a few minutes. So before we do anything, the lineups have come out, but I'm not too concerned with that yet. So let's talk about ownership from last night. About last night. So let's take a look at how the different players were drafted. So World Elite was obviously going to be the highest owned team. We have Jiaomeng, Teacher Ma, and Beishang all performing decently well in a loss from a kill score perspective. Obviously very popular players with DraftKings players because they've done well in the past. And past performance isn't a great predictor of future performance, but it is a good predictor of ownership and also the betting lines. So I'm not very surprised with how that turned out. Huanfeng was surprisingly high owned because I think game stacks were an option, and everybody who didn't play World Elite played Sunning. You just have to basically on a 2-game slate. VICI Gaming's team did pretty well. They could probably fit with a bunch of World Elite stacks. I didn't make World Elite lineups yesterday, so I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. But we had World Elite, then we had a bunch of players from VICI Gaming. Billy Gaming's team was up pretty high for some reason. That's probably, again, due to the popularity of World Elite. So we ended up getting the rest of the players from Sunning at a decently lower ownership. 33% on a mid laner on a 4-game slate is pretty good. Forge at 27.64%. So this is a play that I would have loved to have more of, I guess, if I knew that the ownership was going to be like this, because Forge should have been the second highest owned mid laner on the slate, regardless of the teams, regardless of the way that you were building lineups. Because even if you think World Elite is going to win and you need to make a stack, you should get the other winner, and the other winner was going to be VICI. I think most of us agreed on that. I was surprised when I looked at the line again. I thought it was a little higher, but still not that much value. I wanted to see what VICI Gaming looked like before I started betting money on them this split. So let's take a look at how everyone scored. So the highest scorer on the slate was Angel, and that is a great leverage play off of Huanfeng. I knew that he was going to be lower owned than Huanfeng. I thought that it would be even lower owned than what he ended up. 32.26 is pretty high, considering they were expected to lose by most players. Huanfeng, we know he's a carry. He puts up good scores pretty often. His team likes to play around him. Something that surprised me today was S of M. I think that in one of the first 2 games, he had Graves banned away from him. And then in Game 3, he got Graves. And he played really well on Graves. Obviously, it's a very broken champion. Probably the strongest champion in League of Legends right now. But you need to be able to perform well on it. In the European Masters, we saw time and time again, these players were picking Graves but weren't necessarily good at it. So that's always something that you would love to see in person when you're putting money on them. So the 3 highest scoring players were from Sunning, even though they played a 3rd game and didn't get the 2-game bonus, which is great. Then we had 3 players from VICI, iBoy, the top laner Cube, and the mid laner Forge. So Cube actually outscored Forge, even with Forge getting that quadra kill at the end of the game. So I think that's what catapulted the other lineups up so high, was that quadra kill at the end of the game, which is pretty awesome. I knew it was going to be important when it was going on. I just didn't know how important. But I'm happy it happened. Actually, am I? I'm not sure if I'm happy it happened. I don't know what the alternative would have been if I could have held on to first place in that other contest alone. So Jiaomeng was the highest owned player on the slate. He scored 79.6. Good job in a losing effort. I had a lineup that was a 4-2-1 or a 4-1-2, and I included Jiao Meng in that. Ikes, the jungler from VICI Gaming. Then we had Sword Art, the support for Sunning. And then we had the top laner from Sunning. And then we had some more players from World Elite. World Elite did a good job scoring today, even in a loss. VICI Gaming's team outscored Sunning by 1 point with a game not played bonus, which is surprising. Normally, you'll see the team that gets the game not played bonus being the highest team on a slate by a little bit more. A little bit more than this. You would expect like 65, I think, roughly. 65, 62, 63, 64, 65, right around there, right in that range. So yeah, this is the winning lineup, and let's take a look at that. Let's take a look. History. Got the Brazilian matches going on right now. So that is the contest right there. So this was the big $12 contest. I chopped first place with 37 people. Osimo was up there. Tecmo was up there. He does a pretty good job. Red Kachik. Danny Yee. I recognize a lot of these names. Broranosaurus. And Nick, somebody who follows me pretty closely, talks to me a lot through Twitter. He was up here as well. I forget what his DK handle is. But yeah, everybody had a pretty good night if they were on my picks. I chopped for first place and I chopped for second place. In the other contest with my 20 entries, almost everything that I had was 3 4s and 4 3s with VICI Gaming and Sunning. I like just going after it at this point. I don't think that it makes a lot of sense to hedge as much when I'm playing the amount of money that I am. I think I'm better off just treating it like a parlay and just going after it. I know Chris Brown does that a lot as well. Another guy, I retweet a bunch of his screenshots because he's always winning, following my picks. So that's it for last night. Like I said, it was a great night. The games were awesome. I hope you enjoyed the highlights. Some interesting information for future bets. But let's just take a look to remember. So World Elite was a minus 168 favorite. That's 63%. Sunning was plus 137. 42%. I was on Sunning. I was looking for a spot to bet them last night. I probably should have live betted them today, but I already had money on it through DraftKings, so I didn't really feel the need to put any more money in there. But I assume that the live line after losing game 1 would have been pretty good. Let me know if you guys found that one at all. I thought it would be contrarian, and I thought the teams were similar, and I was right, so we won. VICI Gaming against Billy Gaming. I didn't bet because I didn't think there was any value there. Even with hindsight, I don't think I would have made that bet. With hindsight and knowing they won, I would have made the bet. But at 161 at 62%, I'm not looking at VICI in those spots most of the time. And then let's go on to tonight. So tonight we have OMG against V5, and we have E-Star against LGD. Everybody's going to be on OMG tonight. I think that most players are going to be able to convince themselves that V5's victory over Dominus was a fluke, or that Dominus is just even worse than V5. Those are both options. I think that they are an interesting DraftKings play, but I would not bet on V5 at plus 192. This may be the time to be betting on them, but I'm not just going to light money on fire for V5. And I'm also not going to bet on OMG at minus 256. I will never bet on OMG at anything around minus 200 unless they just start playing out of their minds or like get a transfer player or something like that. E-Star against LGD. E-Star is minus 152. That's a 60% win rate. LGD 46%. So the VIG is included in here. I think that LG is relatively popular and that this is probably 60-40. I guess it could be 55-45 and like the VIG's a little split. But I'm not going to bet on that. I need more value on my money to bet on LGD in this spot. But I will be on the LGD side. I think that is the side that I'll have more DraftKings exposure on. So let's take a look at the teams. The rosters have come out. I I put out a tweet earlier, or I didn't put out a tweet. I retweeted Kenzie before, and this is what we got. So OMG against V5. We have Curse, Hacker, Icon, SMLZ, and Cold coming off their loss against RNG. And then we have Bew, Weiwei, Mole, Sam D, and the PP God. So, like I said, best names in the biz. Great job, V5. Great team. Curse against Bew. I think the advantage is with OMG there. I think that Curse is a better player than Bew overall. Hacker against Weiwei. I think Hacker is a better player than Weiwei overall. Just based off of what we've seen in the past. Weiwei was an academy player for Sunning last split. They didn't do great. Icon against Mole. This is where it's a little interesting. I think that Icon and Mole are pretty similar in terms of skill. Icon looked pretty good in their loss against RNG. He had some low death performances even though they were losing. His champion pool is great. Mole did a good job in their win. And even in their losses last season, he looked pretty good for stretches of time. He did get Zoe twice in the last match, I think, and I don't expect that to happen because he played well. So I think that Mole's going to get banned out probably tonight. That's what I would do at least. And then in the bot lane, we have SMLZ and Cold. They obviously stand no chance against the big dick bot lane, Sam D and PP God, the best named bot lane in the history of League of Legends. Sam, Hold My D, and PP God. Amazing. Yeah, in terms of that, PP God was actually surprisingly good. That's a weird sentence. He looked for a lot of aggressive plays when he was on Thresh. And I think if he gets Thresh again, he's going to be able to help dictate how the game goes. Haha. If you catch my drift. I will be using that line tomorrow, by the way, if they do well. So yeah, I do think that OMG is most likely going to win. Not a ton of value on V5. I hope V5 wins. Every time that V5 wins, it's just going to make my video that much better. LGD against E-Star. Garvey is starting, which is surprising because they just got Long Shi, and they also have Lies from last split. So I think that there is a substitute risk for LGD in the top lane. We have Peanut, Shie, who just transferred over. He's a very good player. He plays Kassadin. He plays a lot of these hard carry champions. That is an upgrade for LGD. Their mid laner went to E-Star, and we'll talk about him in a minute or so. Kramer, not the traditional AD carry player in terms of being able to carry very hard, but as a bot laner, he is pretty strong. He does play Senna very well, and Senna is still very good. A lot of players don't enjoy playing it. She was nerfed in the past, but she's still extremely strong because of the playstyle that she enables and the economic aspect of it, where she's getting a ton of value from her souls, so she doesn't necessarily need to take all of the farm in the lane. So she just plays it as a support, has a support item, gives up all the CS to the support, and yeah, it's just a very interesting way to build team compositions. I think Senna is a great champion right now. I'd be surprised if LG was given it, but we shall see. So then we have Mark. Mark transferred over from Billy Gaming, I guess? I forget. But there is another support, so potentially we have a support substitute risk and a top lane substitute risk. For E-Star, we have Xiaobai, Wei, Fen, Wink, and Xiaoxi. So 4 out of the 5 players are returning from last split. Cryan went to RNG, which was surprising. I think Xiaohu's just a better player than Cryan overall. But now they have Fen. I think Fen is not very good at all. He was on LGD, and I don't think he was even my preferred mid laner for LGD when he was on them. I think I liked the substitute better. So that's a downgrade in my opinion. I think that if Fen can turn things around and be a much better player, maybe I'm missing something from his history that has E-Star attracted to having him in the mid lane. But I like the LGD side tonight. So when we take a look at the different positions, E-Star is the most expensive in top, jungle, mid, AD carry, support, but they're not the most expensive team because obviously it's a little bit more highly correlated with the expected win percentage of the players. But it is kind of surprising. Actually, no, it's not surprising. Full stop. Not surprising. What is surprising is that OMG's players are not more highly rated in the positions because they should be the highest projected scorers based on their matchup against V5. The fact that E-Star is so high probably has to do with LGD giving up a lot of points in their losses, but also E-Star having high fantasy points in their wins. However, now that their roster has changed, I think they will win less often. So that's going to naturally regress a little bit. I think that the pricing is off, is basically what I'm saying. I like LGD a lot. I like OMG a decent amount, and I'll probably have some hedges with V5. Just picking both sides of this matchup, trying to get some unique lineup constructions. In terms of potential one-offs, jungle, mid, and AD carry are always in play as one-offs. If you want to do a game stack and take one player from a different game, something like that, that's always an option. Tough to project which one, but if you're doing multiple lineups and just rotating, that's always good. In the top lane, you need to have a specific kind of player to run as a one-off. And I don't love any of these top laners as one-offs. Garvey is interesting because I did a little bit more research on him. LGD is bringing him up from the youth team, even though they acquired Longshi. So Longshi was on RNG. But I guess Garvey's just playing really well. He's an 18-year-old from China. If he can be successful, then long-term LGD is going to be pretty good. I think the reason why they picked up Longshi is because they know that their window with Kramer and Peanut isn't as long. Like, it is kind of crazy to think in esports that these guys are considered on the back ends of their careers, but they probably are. Peanut's still a very good player, though, and I think that if Garvey cannot play well at the professional level, he'll drop back down to the amateur scene, and Longshi will probably be the starting top laner. So like I said, I am somewhat afraid that Garvey is a substitute risk, but he's also a very high upside play. So I would suggest getting a little bit of exposure to him in your lineups tonight. So that's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the highlights about last night and the almost perfect lineup. I'm not giving out as many individual plays because I think by now you all understand that it's really about stacking and rotating through a core of players. If I had to put together some kind of thing for almost perfect lineup, I undoubtedly would make a V5 stack because of the different crazy stuff that I could say with PP God and SamD and stuff like that. But I mean, just going through the process right here, it's just probably not worth it. So that's all I've got. If you love the videos, the best thing you can do is to retweet, share, like, subscribe, comment. It really helps a lot. If somebody wants to start posting this stuff onto Reddit, like, you're not allowed to do it for yourself for some reason because it's considered like self-advertisement, but if somebody else posts it, it's okay. It's just pretty bizarre. So yeah, that's about it. Good luck tonight. Hopefully we can go back to back. If I don't win, I hope one of you does, because then I get to retweet it. So thanks again, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
No, you don't need the.
Legend. He a 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 legend.
Walking on it though, then
He a
you can't look it up
legend.
later.
Welcome to the league. To the league. To the league. To the league. To the league of items. Welcome to the league. To the league. To the league. To the league. To the league of items.
Pike on money, pike on money, pike on money. We making pike on money. Payday, about to throw a rack on China. Need some DFS advice, where can I find some? League of Items got the sheet with all the lineups and all the stacks that you need to get to diamond. League of Items!
Getting gold, that's the goal. Keep on winning on a roll. Kill 4 dragons, got soul. Now you got nowhere to go. Teleporting top to bot. Dive your carry on the spot. That's an ace. Wreck your base. Wear my crown. We on top.
It's the league. It's the league. It's the league. It's the league. It's the league of items.
League of Items!
Welcome to the league. To the league. To the league. To the league. To the league of items. Legend. He a legend. He a legend.
Legend, legend, legend.